So I'm here to tell you that we are living in the best decade of human history. And you asked me, so, well, all I hear is gloom and doom everywhere I look. The best days of this country are behind us. The worst is yet to come. And here I'm telling you, we are living in the best decade of human history. So first, let me tell you, why do we hear nothing but negative news? Well, part of it is our human brain. In fact, some of the most primitive part of our human brain, called amygdala, it is designed to find things that can go wrong. It is looking for the things that are negative. It's looking for the fear. Because the only way we could survive in the savannas of Africa was when we knew something was going to be wrong and we were able to identify it before someone else did. So amygdala is always on alert, looking for the negative information. And that's why in the news business, it says, if it bleeds, it leads. They're always looking for the negative news because that's what the human mind pays attention to. Despite everything I'm about to tell you, that nothing but the good things are happening. If you look at the world, the exponential technology is going to make everything that we think is a problem nothing but an opportunity for you. Our mindset needs to change from scarcity to abundance. What I mean by that is, don't think there's going to be a shortage of things. Think, what would we do if there was abundance of things? What if the sustainability is not about conservation? Sustainability can never come from conservation, because think about it. If I told you we are running out of oxygen, can you please just not breathe every 30 seconds? Well, gee, now we have more people. Can you just stop breathing, please, because we need to conserve? You know what the answer is? How can we create more of what we need, not use less of what we have? It's great in theory, so I'm going to tell you how to do it. Some of the biggest problems that we see today, billions of people with no education, the billions of people around the world, lack of health care, shortage of energy, lack of food. I know what you are thinking. These are the biggest opportunity for an entrepreneur. And yes, they also happen to be the humanity's grand challenges. So how do we go out as an entrepreneur and solve some of these problems? There is not anything on earth that you can't solve through innovation and entrepreneurship. So let's attack each of these problems, and let me tell you how, as an entrepreneur, you think about these problems. Education. As an entrepreneur, 90% of the battle is how you define a problem. So if I were to tell you our education system is broken, many of you will say, yeah, I agree with you. We need to fix it. What if I told you that is really not the problem? Our education system is in fact not broken. It is simply obsolete. Think about what you would do. There is nothing broken about our education system. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do, which was to create plug-and-play people who can fit into the industrial society, and they had a very specific skills. Our needs have changed. When our needs have changed, we have to always think about what would we do with the new needs. With the exponential technologies, our skills are becoming obsolete faster than ever. We need to invent an education system that's designed for the future, where we have to learn, not simply learn a specific skill, because that skill is going to become obsolete sooner than earlier. So now, if that education system we need to design, we have to think about what would that look like. It has to be adaptive. It has to be personalized. It has to be gamified. It has to be collaborative. It has to be problem solving. What if we can design an education system that's more effective than a private tutor and more addictive than a video game? Imagine when your child comes to you and say, Mom, Dad, can I just play science just for 1 more hour, please? Right? And it's not a science fiction. These are the science reality. Imagine if we can go look at the healthcare where billions of people out there with no healthcare diagnostic. More people die from common diseases than they die from rare diseases. You know how I know that? Because they're called rare. They're not called common, right? Right? So the common diseases are treatable if they can be diagnosed early. What if you are able to take a $10 tablet device and attach a 5-cent piece of paper that can diagnose all the common diseases, whether it happens to be a dengue fever, malaria, or a flu, or HIV, or TB. If they can be diagnosed early, they can all be treated. So all it takes is a human ingenuity. And you tell me, how is that possible? In fact, these are the kind of things that 15-year-olds and the 16-year-olds are doing. My youngest son, who is 16-year-old, he is building a wireless tricorder device to diagnose the common diseases and competing for a $10 million Qualcomm Tricorder X Prize. He's partnered with people like Jack Andraka, who has already invented a diagnosis for ovarian cancer when he was 15 years old. So imagine what young people are doing. They're doing what the large companies couldn't do. They're doing what the countries couldn't do. Similarly, if you think about the shortage of food, what if I told you you will be able to take your own stem cell or any cow stem cell and create the biofactories that can have as much of beef as you want, or you can have a hydroponic farming? What if you're able to not just use a 3D printing to print an object, you can use a 3D DNA printing to teleport yourself or print yourself a new liver? Imagine if you're drinking too much and you're worried about, I have to stop drinking, don't stop drinking, just print a new liver. Right? Don't stop eating a burger, just print a new heart. And these things are very possible today because we are able to now take our own skin cell, convert them into the IPC, and convert them to any tissue we want. And these days are not far away where not only we can sequence our own genome, we'll be able to print it anywhere else. So you talk about teleporting, you'll be able to teleport a life to any planet. And that's what I'm talking about. Nothing is impossible. In the last couple of minutes, just let me give you a little bit of background about myself. I grew up in India. We grew up extremely poor. We had absolutely no food to eat. We moved from village to village to village because my father refused to take bribes. And if he didn't take bribe, his boss didn't get the money. That means we were transferred every 6-9 months. I grew up in most villages where there was no tables, no chairs, no whiteboard. We sat on the floor, we wrote on the floor. And that's how I did most of my education. My sister went on to do a PhD in applied mathematics. My brother had a PhD in statistics and computer science. I'm the least educated person with engineering and MBA. Came to this country with $5 in my pocket, did not know anybody, and then to speak the language. As a child, I always looked up in the stars and looked at the friendly planet called Moon, and I always wondered, what if? What if I could go to the moon? And that little boy who had that dream is sitting here in front of you, standing here in front of you, telling you that we will be the first company to go land on the moon. The first private company to ever land on any planet. That poor boy, if he can go out, an immigrant who can go out and make the dreams come true, imagine what you can do. There is nothing in this world that you can't do if you put your mind to it. All it takes is the imagination. I was told when I was young man, my mom would say, the sky is the limit, until I grew up and realized there is no such thing as sky. Sky is nothing but a figment of our imagination. When you go from earth to the moon, you never pass the sky. There is no such thing as sky. What she was trying to tell me, son, the imagination is your only limitation. If you can imagine it, you can dream it, you can make it happen. So my only message to you is never stop dreaming. Never stop imagining. Never think scarcity. Think abundance. And imagine what will you do if there was abundance of energy, the abundance of water, there will be no wars because we'll be able to create everything that we need. And with that in mind, let's make this ideas week as an execution week, and let's go out and make it happen. Thank you.